Hi guys, JT here, and here's my top 10 AAA games that you can buy for cheap in Fanatical's 2023 Eggstravaganza sale. These AAA games are timeless and highly discounted, and you should consider them. So let's get into this. And number 10 we have Injustice II Legendary Edition, a fighting game pitting characters from the DC universe and guest characters from other series. Set in an alternate universe where the Joker has successfully corrupted Superman, Injustice 2 allows you to play some of DC's most iconic heroes and villains, as they put their differences aside and unite for the greater good. With its stunning graphics, facial capture technology, and engaging storyline that wouldn't be out of place in a Hollywood blockbuster, Injustice 2 is a visual and narrative spectacle. But it's not just style over substance, as the game's gameplay is equally impressive. Retaining the razor-sharp edge of the first title in the series, Injustice 2's gameplay is a perfect blend of Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. The gear system, which adds some light RPG flavor to the action, lets players customize their character's appearance and abilities, with cosmetic gear that has no effect on gameplay and also gear that affects the damage dealt. In terms of its loot boxes, oh the dreadful loot boxes. They were actually plentiful and doled out with enough frequency to make them feel rewarding and worth pursuing. With the release of the Legendary Edition, which contains all post-launch content and new heroes like the Atom, Hellboy, and crossovers that feature the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Raiden, Injustice 2 has been polished, perfected, and completed. And number 9 we have Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition, a post-apocalyptic adventure RPG. If you're looking for a game that offers an immersive, customizable experience with an engaging storyline, then Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition may be the game for you. Set in a post-apocalyptic world, you play as a sole survivor who must navigate through the ruins of Boston while making choices that can drastically affect the game's story. One of the game's strengths is its ethical component. You'll be faced with choices that aren't always clear-cut, and your decisions can have serious consequences. The game map is incredibly expansive, allowing you to explore a large portion of New England, and the game offers both first-person and third-person views, as well as an impressive array of weapons. What sets Fallout 4 apart is the incredible customization available, both in terms of character creation and the ability to personalize your gameplay experience with procedural missions. The Game of the Year Edition includes additional content, providing even more gameplay hours. While the question of whether Fallout 4 is the best game in the series is a matter of opinion, it's worth considering for those looking for a game with a strong story, engaging gameplay, and plenty of opportunities for personalization. And number 8 we have Sid Meier's Civilization VI. It is an incredibly popular game, one that has remained one of the top games on Steam for years after its release. The game is an upgrade from its predecessor, Civilization V, and it has been a favorite among players since its release. The game has undergone significant changes, such as the builders, the cartoonish visuals, and cities that spread across multiple tiles, but it still remains true to its core appeal. The game has 21 famous leaders, and you guide your civilization from ancient to modern times, discovering technologies, inventing religions, and building wonders along the way. You can win the game by launching a spaceship to another planet, generating the most tourism worldwide, conquering the capital city of your rivals, or by making your religion the most practiced one in the world. The game's new art style, which many gamers questioned, looks fantastic in motion, particularly when zoomed in on your cities. You can see contagious fields, meticulously placed districts, and wonders. The game is full of little visual flourishes, such as balloons and fishes, and the leaders are more animated and alive than ever, though their design is a little inconsistent. The game's scrolly cartographic map has replaced the generic fog of war, and it becomes a beautiful window to the entire world. The music is also impressive, with each nation having its own theme music that evolves through the ages. The game is a celebration of humanity's triumphs and tragedies, and it is a celebration of the game itself. And number 7 we have Mafia Definitive Edition, a story-driven, linear, and action-packed game that revolves around the protagonist's rise from a mere cab driver to an influential member of the Salieri crime family. The game does a fantastic job of immersing players in its evocative world, allowing them to soak up the atmosphere before the bullets start flying. The city of Lost Heaven is beautifully crafted with period-accurate signage, fashion, and vehicles that make you feel like you've stepped back in time. The world building and storytelling are top-notch, with the use of set pieces and atmosphere adding to the thrill of the game. The balance between combat and slower moments is spot on, with plenty of breaks in between to wander around, talk to people, or take a drive. The new tech used in the game is also worth mentioning, as it makes the experience much smoother, with more forgiving checkpoints and streamlined gameplay. Additionally, the free roam mode allows players to explore the city without being tied to a mission, and the inclusions of collectibles in the form of old pulp magazine covers adds to the fun. Overall, Mafia Definitive Edition is a fun, pacey, and nicely presented gangster epic that's sure to entertain. And number 6 we have Middle-earth: Shadow of War, an adventure game surrounding the Lord of the Rings lore. It builds on the Nemesis system introduced in Shadow of Mordor. The game follows undead Gondorian ranger Talion as he tries to defeat the Dark Lord Sauron and his armies of orcs. However, the game's main strength is the orcs themselves, who are the real stars of the game. They are grotesque, fierce, and have unique personalities that make them incredibly interesting and entertaining to fight. Orc captains and war chiefs will remember and taunt you if they manage to murder you, while the game's tribe system increases the variety of orcs, both in their appearance and battle style. The game's combat is also satisfying, with players able to gather intelligence about their enemies and recruit them as allies, including the brilliantly named Osgrael's Mountain Eater. However, the game's story is its weakest point, with a focus on the mystical and doomy side of Lord of the Rings, resulting in characters that lack humor and humanity. The game's protagonist Talion is particularly unlikable, and any of the game's randomly generated orcs has more personality than him. Despite its weak story, Shadow of War is an enjoyable game that is worth playing for its unique and entertaining enemies, the orcs. And number 5 we have Dishonored 2, a stealth game that offers an immersive experience with a compelling narrative, unique characters, and thrilling gameplay. The game offers 2 distinct runs, with Corvo and Emily, each bringing their unique set of abilities to the table. The light choices you can make throughout the game only play out in the short term, but the ability to trigger hardcore mode at the start with no powers, and the chance to collect every rune and bone charm in the game offer a lot of replay value. The heart item from the first Dishonored returns, and is a great way to ease you into additional content. Experimentation is at the core of Dishonored 2, and you're encouraged to try different approaches to challenges, whether it be hand-to-hand combat or stealthy approaches. The game requires you to master every tool you're given, which can be challenging due to the quick deaths and relentless AI, but once you have several chapters under your belt, the game picks up and crescendos into a nice finale. The acquisition of new powers is not the only thing that makes you feel like a badass assassin. It is also the slow drip reward of learning the many intricacies and rules of the game's world. Overall, Dishonored 2 is a game that encourages experimentation and rewards you for mastering the game's mechanics. And number 4 we have Wolfenstein II, The New Colossus, an exceptional first-person shooter game that challenges you to fight against the Nazi oppression. The game's greatest asset is its diverse and interesting cast of characters, which adds depth to the overall story. The heroes are flawed, yet strong, and their presence is felt throughout the game, making it more than just a shooter game. The game's environments are impressive and provide variety, but the game is still a corridor shooter. While the shooting mechanics are top-notch, the game can be unforgiving, and sneaking around is difficult. Wolfenstein II: The New Colossus provides multiple ways to tackle the levels, including using contraptions, multiple weapons, stealth, and melee attacks, which can become repetitive. The game's storyline is a juggling act between humor, horror, and tragedy, and it does so masterfully. Despite its occasional flaws, the game is grotesque, cathartic, beautiful, and shocking, and it is an excellent addition to the Wolfenstein franchise. This game is highly recommended for those looking for a shooter game that is more than just shooting, or if you just want to murder and blow some Nazis up. And number 3 we have Metro Exodus, a game that succeeds in its ambition to combine different genres and provide a captivating gameplay experience. The post-apocalyptic game offers crafting-focused survival elements, character-driven story, atmospheric horror, and shooter modes. The game is set a decade after the second game, where players take on the role of Atio, who joins a group in search of a new home and other survivors, traveling aboard the Aurora train. The train serves as a mobile sanctuary, where players can interact with NPCs, complete side missions, craft and replenish supplies, and explore the vast environments. The UI is clean, and the absence of quest givers jumping with neon question marks is a welcome change. Metro Exodus is not an open world game, but the winter, spring, and summer environments are expansive and feel like one. The game offers players the choice to approach missions during the day or at night, with both options providing different experiences. The monsters that come out at night offer a thrilling challenge, and the stealth approach works best when infiltrating a human base. Overall, the game's different elements are knit together into a bizarre and thrilling train journey that is overwhelmingly brilliant. This game is a must-play if you like a great post-apocalyptic game with a great narrative that has a more serious tone than the likes of Fallout. The Gold Edition also further expands the story with Sam's story, continuing the journey further, with Sam trying to return to the US, and is worth a playthrough. And number 2 we have Metal Gear Solid 5, an outstanding game offering an unparalleled stealth experience with an ambitious story by Hideo Kojima. For Metal Gear fans, this is a must-play game, but for others it is still a great experience. The story of a legendary soldier building a private army to track down a villain and save the world from his secret weapon is more accessible than previous games, which helps newcomers to the series. While the game's plot collapses under the weight of 25 years of canon, the stealth systems at play are the result of just as many years of experimentation and refinement. The game's scope is not only impressive because of the size of the physical play area it takes place in, but because of the sheer range of complex possibilities the game actively supports. The more time you spend planning and preparing, the more rewarding the execution feels. The game is at its best when the micro-interactions, both perfectly clear and deliciously ambiguous, act as springboards for surprising or unexpected turns of events. Although the game's dramatic pacing is disrupted by its less linear, mission-based structure, the rare cutscenes are refreshing and don't interrupt your stealthy sorties. The game's plot also suffers from being too overtly complex, as per most Hideo Kojima Metal Gear games, and its delivery from the backseat through optional cassette tapes make it feel disjointed. Metal Gear Solid 5 is a great game, especially for fans of the Metal Gear series, offering an incredible stealth experience. And number 1 we have Red Dead Redemption 2, an action-adventure game developed by Rockstar Games. It is an impressive open-world experience that stands out for its innovative systems and attention to detail. In this prequel, players assume the role of Arthur Morgan, a member of the Van der Linde gang, and follows his tale of redemption. The game offers a stunning and massive world, packed with granular details, stunning horizons, and over 200 species of animals, each with their unique behavior. Moreover, the game evolves as players progress, with buildings being built, towns going into lockdown, people dying, and others joining the gang. Players are expected to contribute to the camp by offering a percentage of their cash, ammo, medicine, and hunting goods. However, the rest of the gang is also active, looting bodies and grabbing items. Conversations are contextual and happen seamlessly in-game, adding to the fluidity of the experience. Arthur's story is much more fleshed out than John Marston's, the protagonist of Red Dead Redemption. The writing digs deep into the characters, and one-off conversations with side characters adds layer to the protagonist, revealing surprising facts about his past that shed light on his personality and his complex relationship with the gang leader, Dutch. The game is Rockstar's best virtual place, artistically miles ahead of anything else, with painterly dreamlike hyper-real quality. The music blends with exploration and swells with combat, pulling players into the fantasy, and vocal tracks are used sparingly and to stunning effect to highlight big moments in the story. It is definitely a masterpiece that you need to experience for yourself. Also, if you like riding horses and gunning people down, this game is one for you too. Do you agree with this list? What other games are you looking out for in the Extravaganza sale? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.